After decades of planning and preparation and billions of dollars spent, it was the announcement the people of China had waited a lifetime for, and a moment in its 5,000-year history where time stood still.
Games of the 29th Olympiad in 2008 are awarded to the city of Beijing.
The country that built a wall to keep people out is now welcoming the world with open arms. And for the people of Beijing, it's a moment in time never to be forgotten.
I was in Minneapolis at that time, and actually I was working in the office. And after the word Beijing, people just emerged to the city, and I saw the picture. I was very excited.
Welcome to Beijing, an already vibrant city that's about to get an additional jolt of energy as thousands of Olympic athletes, organizers, and fans prepare to see firsthand just how quickly this age-old city is moving forward. And no doubt every single one of them will be amazed the second they step off the plane and step foot right inside here, the new international terminal. Known as T3, this new terminal at Beijing's capital airport is nothing short of amazing. And in many ways, it's also a microcosm of what Beijing is rapidly becoming. Massive, majestic, and modern.
I've traveled many, many years and have been to Singapore and, of course, Vancouver and Sydney's airport. And you come into this airport, and it is absolutely spectacular. There's nothing that's left out. It's light, it's bright, it's airy, it's very well thought out. It works fabulously, and it's absolutely world class.
And it didn't come cheap. Built at a cost of nearly $4 billion US, T3 was designed and constructed in just 4 years, and it occupies an area of roughly 3 million square feet. That's nearly twice the size of the Louisiana Superdome. It's estimated the new terminal will welcome a staggering 85 million international travelers each year. And even though it's only been up and running for a matter of months now, it's already earning gold medal reviews.
This airport is unbelievable.
I've been in Berlin, I'm from Berlin, and it's much smaller. So this one is really nice. It's also comfortable to get here, to get from one terminal to the other one. I like it.
Next, what visitors will see once they leave this shining airport and head out into the heart of this rapidly changing city.
My first impression when I got here was that it would be certainly not as modern as it is. So I might as well be in New York City relative to the size of the city, certainly the energy of the city, and everything else.
The first mascot is called Beibei, and it's a combination of fish and water. And according to our Chinese traditional culture, fish means surplus. So Beibei means surplus and fortune and good luck.
Take a look at the Beijing skyline and two facts become instantly apparent. The face of the city is changing, and the pollution that change brings is also increasing. Never in China's 5,000-year history has there been so much development in so little time. The $40 billion being spent to bring Beijing up to date for the Summer Olympic Games is only a fraction of what's being spent overall. Turn your back on this city, and progress will pass you by.
a day is like a month here. Things are changed so quickly. When I first got here, I lived kind of in the outskirts and suburb areas, and you could see during that time donkey-driven carts bringing fruit out there. The roads were not real up to standard. Now it's all brand new roads, and it's amazing. And they were bringing a work crew and do a whole a new road in about 2 weeks.
And although much of what's being developed is being funded by the socialistic Chinese government, capitalism here isn't just alive, it's flourishing.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty clean. It's pretty open. People are friendly. I thought, it would be more like a communist country where people wouldn't communicate or talk to you, but certainly everyone's after you. They want the American dollar, that's for sure.
Everyone's been very helpful as far as directions, where to eat, where to go. The people have been just amazing.
The growing construction boom here is what some of the Chinese government officials refer to as a poverty reduction campaign. Finding workers and laborers, even by the thousands, is of little concern. And while most Chinese generally agree the overall growth of this country is good, there is certainly a downside, and everybody can see it, both in the air and on the ground. Decades of hard-charging growth, often at the expense of the environment, has made Beijing one of the most populated and polluted cities in the world. Now, in an effort to increase the number of what the government calls blue sky days, drastic measures have been taken. Dozens of the smoggiest factories in the region have been shut down. And beginning in June, cars and trucks are on an odd and even rotation based on their license plates. It's a move that's expected to take more than 1 million cars and trucks off Beijing's roadways every day.
The Olympics are right around the corner, and I think there has been a lot of change. It feels like a brand new Beijing. As far as the environment goes, the sky has become more blue and the air is cleaner. There's a lot more green trees and flowers. Also, right now, there's a lot of athletic buildings ready to go, including the really beautiful Bird's Nest Stadium.
And in another effort to reduce pollution here, all non-Olympic related construction will be put on hold until the Games are over. But for at least one world-class athlete out of Ethiopia, the move comes too late. Haile Gebrselassie, the world record holder for being the fastest marathon runner, has asthma. And he says his quest for Olympic gold isn't worth the risk of damaging his health. The challenge now for Chinese officials is to ensure that no additional high-profile athletes will choose to opt out of the Games out of concerns for their health. But as the Chinese government works to clear the air, construction on Olympic-related projects not only forges ahead, but it continues around the clock.
The most priority over everything else. If it's for Olympics, we have to work hard to make sure that our Olympics can be held on time.
Dealing with congestion and gridlock from the road to Beijing continues.
Mascot is called Jingjing. It's a panda bear, and as everybody knows, panda bear is like the national animal of China.
Although the Chinese government is taking half of the cars off the roads through the Olympics in an effort to cut down on the pollution, it still remains to be seen just how much it'll cut down on the city's other fastest growing concern, gridlock. Prior to the middle 1980s, private citizens in China were banned from even owning vehicles. Bicycles, of course, were once the preferred mode of transportation. In fact, it's estimated there was one bike for every 2 of China's 1.4 billion people. But times are changing, and now with consumerism and capitalism, the nation is making the transition from pedal power to horsepower. However, the people of Beijing are hardly enjoying life in the fast lane.
There's no way to park because there's no parking lots, and the quality of everyone's life is continuously improving. So people who want to buy cars are now able to do it. And you put those two things together and you get cars everywhere.
With a population of more than 14 million people in Beijing alone, keeping the masses moving is critical. As part of its own Olympic race, the Chinese government embarked on an ambitious multi-billion-dollar transportation upgrade after winning the bid to host these games. Thousands of miles of new expressways have been laid down, and the subway system has been made bigger, faster, and more convenient. Right now, there are 7 lines that cover just under 90 miles, and a one-way ticket cost only about 20 cents. And there's no concern about ridership in this city, with more than 3.5 million people riding the rail every day. And with the Olympic Games in mind, the system has to be more than just convenient. It has to be user-friendly. And thanks to the addition of English lettering on signage throughout Beijing, getting from point A to point B should be easy for everyone.
After you are in Beijing, one of the options is to take the Beijing subway station. And there will be around at least 7 subway lines for your choice. And one of the subway line is in particular for the Olympics, which is called the Olympic line, that will directly lead to the National Stadium.
And for everything that it offers, Beijing's rapid transit system is still in its infancy. The working plan is to add up to 14 more lines that would cover an additional 335 miles, and they hope to have all of it up and running by the year 2015.
It is a little bit too fast. A lot of people complain about the traffic situation. They said too many cars and it's difficult to go to work every day. I believe you have the upside and the downside. We need the fast development to get more middle class coming up, but also some people said we are not ready for that the fast situation.
Of course, there is more to this city than construction, pollution, and traffic. When the road to Beijing continues, we head out to the country for a climb up one of the world's great wonders.
Oh, this is cool. You see so many pictures in the books and TV, and to finally be somewhere where you've always wanted to see, and landmark of the planet, it's quite exhilarating.
Mascot of Huan, it represents fire, and it's a symbol of the eternal Olympic flame.
A couple of hours removed from the hustle and bustle of Beijing, but seemingly a world away, stands one of the great wonders of the world. Built mainly to protect the Chinese from the Mongolians and other invaders, the Great Wall today serves as a symbol of China's determination and pride.
This actually represents the courage of our entire nation. For all Chinese people, to be able to walk on the Great Wall is a huge honor. It is a dream for both young and old people. There's a Chinese saying that one can never be considered truly worthy or fulfilled without having taken a trip to the Great Wall.
Although there are huge discrepancies regarding the actual length of this mammoth structure, the wall twists and winds its way endlessly along hill crests, gorges, and rivers. And don't let the brochures or the pictures fool you. Getting around on the wall is no easy task. Dealing with the crowds here at the Great Wall, just one of the challenges you'll face when visiting the spot. Another challenge is the structure itself. Just managing to climb it for many is like an accomplishment of Olympic proportions.
It's quite hard.
Were you surprised at how steep and how difficult it is?
Yeah, I was. I didn't thought it was that high.
It's amazing just how many people are here and the different age levels that are here, all the way to very senior citizens and very, very young children. So it's amazing. There's no question. I had no idea of the steepness or the magnitude of this wall. It's pretty fascinating. And again, we're only on one little small section of it.
And for those unwilling or unable to climb the wall on their own, ancient times meets modern technology in the form of a gondola, allowing all a chance to experience the wonder of the wall. Another oasis just 9 miles from central Beijing is the Summer Palace. Commissioned in 1750 by Emperor Qinglong as a gift to his mother, the palace took 15 years to build. It encompasses more than 700 acres and is home to the largest imperial garden in the world. A stark contrast to the Summer Palace is the Forbidden City, considered the epicenter of Beijing. Regarded as the largest palace complex in the world, the Forbidden City is home to 9,999 structures. And since yellow is the symbol of the royal family, it is the dominant color in the Forbidden City. It's said that more than 1 million workers, including 100,000 artisans, were driven into long-term labor to complete the facility, which today serves as a popular museum for visitors from both home and abroad. Taking on one of the city's greatest pastimes when the road to Beijing continues.
They grab you and push you into their little market. It's really an experience. It's a classic Beijing experience.
Then for the mascot of Ying, it's a Tibetan antelope. It's a protected animal which is becoming extinct.
For a country once defined by its closed borders and its communist ways, one of the first things that every visitor to Beijing will certainly notice is just how open and welcoming this city is, and just how friendly its people are. To say the city has simply transitioned into the 21st century would be to hugely understate just how much it has changed in so short a time.
I just spent the last 3 days in downtown Beijing, and the construction, if you had seen Beijing 3 years ago and you see it today in the downtown central business district, it is absolutely, you'd think you're in any major city in the world for the high-rises, the Shangri-Las that are going up, and they're going up not in 2 and 3 years, they're going up in 1 year. So yeah, the cranes are everywhere.
It is said nowadays in China, only somewhat tongue-in-cheek, that the construction crane is the national bird. It's pretty much impossible to look up and not see one of the towering structures looming overhead. And the development isn't solely for the people of China. In fact, a large portion of what is being built is specifically aimed at the global tourism market, which more and more is setting its sights on China.
People before, they never travel to China. They go to United States, they go to England, they go to Spain, other different, Egypt or India, Thailand. But people always want to go to a new place. And then now, China is the new destination.
I believe the tourism business started to take off in 2001, and then especially in Shanghai, in Beijing, and in Guangzhou, what we so-called the three gateway city. Lots of tourists coming in, and lots of business people coming in to open their shop, and I believe we can see this trend going, even better and better.
Beijing's growth is fueling a renaissance like this part of the world has never seen. What used to be a country of the very rich and the very poor is now experiencing a first-ever boom of the middle class. With each passing day, the people of Beijing look more and more like the people of any major metropolitan city. For better or worse, the Western influence is taking hold here.
From my point of view, we would like to have changes and outside influences, learning something new, including different lifestyles and new ways of thinking.
And if there is one place on Earth designed for somebody in search of something new and different, Beijing is that place. Of course, one of the biggest draws in this historic city is its shopping, with thousands of stores in many different areas, including thousands right here at Wangfujin. It is nothing shy of a shopper's paradise. Depending on where you go, shopping takes on a completely different personality here. If you want a typical Western experience, there are countless stores and shopping malls to satisfy your every need. But if it's the bargain that you're after, there's only one place to go. The world-famous silk market. Don't let the name fool you. They sell everything in this place. But a word of caution, you better be on your game.
It's a unique experience, let me say this, that you have to be strong-willed to get through the aisles, to be able to find what you want. Everybody's really nice. They're an aggressive, assertive nice.
They grab you and push you into their little market. It's really an experience. It's a classic Beijing experience.
If you like to bargain, this is the place to be. From designer handbags and clothing to jewelry and sporting goods, you can find it all, even some new luggage to haul all your loot away. But reaching that final price, that takes work.
You pay me more than money for me, I'm very happy.
Oh, I bring you plenty of business. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Aloha.
This is a silk market. It's kind of a free-for-all. You really have to be sharp with your bargaining and, be willing to walk away if they're not meeting your price. They really inflate the price initially right away, and but they're willing to work with you, and they want your money. So it's very rare for them to turn down anything that you offer them.
As long as you know what you're dealing with, they're not real. Everything can be halved and quartered, and you walk away very happy, as do they.
For everything China has to offer, its most valuable resource is its people. And as the nation's economy continues to grow, so does the number of people looking to enjoy an experience beyond its borders. According to the World Travel Organization, China will become the #1 producer of outbound travelers in the next decade, with upwards of 100 million people looking to pack their bags and head out each year. And Hawaii has always been among their preferred destinations. But decades of tense political relations and other matters between China and the U.S. made travel between the two countries difficult at best.
When we have a meeting with the U.S. Embassy, what they say is they was approving only 40% for the people apply visa every day. So that means 60% people has been rejected.
Until recently, only business and student visas were generally approved. But in the past few months, that's all changed. The U.S. now has something called approved destination status from China. That now means travel agencies in China will be allowed to sell U.S. tour packages. Chinese leisure travelers will have an easier time getting visas to come here.
When you think of the upscale Chinese market, that's what's crucial, is the number of wealthy people in China, which would match well with Hawaii as a visitor destination.
And with the number of airline seats to Hawaii dramatically reduced this summer, this could be the perfect fix at the perfect time for a struggling Hawaii tourism industry.
Hawaii is a brand name, and people love to see Hawaii. I believe if they are ready, and they would start booking into a hotel, they would do a lot of shopping there. And I like Hawaii's the Waikiki Beach, a lot of scenic situation, and I'm sure the Chinese are ready to really want to go to Hawaii.
We know it from the TV, from the computer, and from the net, but we have never been there. But we do think that place is very beautiful, and we want to go it very much because it is the seaside, the sunshine, and the beautiful girls. And we want to go there. We want to go there very much if we have the opportunity.
I hope you have a strong stomach because we satisfy our hunger when the road to Beijing continues. Cooking a pigeon.
The last mascot is called Nini. It's a type of bird called swallow. And actually in Chinese, swallow is the old names for Beijing in ancient times.
Whenever and wherever people travel, there is little question that food plays a significant role, and few places on earth are defined by their food as much as China. Here, it's not so much a matter of do they have it and will they serve it. The bigger question is, can you stomach it? Take a walk down Beijing's Wang Fujin Snack Street, and it's pretty safe to say you'll see things that you have never seen before, and perhaps never wanted to. But this isn't to say that all food in China is what we might think to be bizarre. In fact, for those not willing to step out of their comfort zone, the Western influence can now be found on almost every street corner in China. From Big Macs and pizza to KFC, the Chinese diet is changing, and it has a distinctly American flavor.
Actually, China is constantly improving, and a lot of younger people will want to try some of these new foods.
But if you really do want to be daring with your diet, China is a great place to start. Even the finest restaurants have menu items that may cause you to do a double take. Cooking a pigeon. Of course, this isn't your basic zoo variety pigeon. It's farm raised and it's pricey. And it also happens to be very good.
All right, bon appetit. Thank you.
Very good. Tastes like duck, not chicken. Then there are those more dubious delicacies. From crickets and grasshoppers to silkworms, even starfish. If you want it, chances are you'll find it at the night market.
You mean, what have we not eaten?
I'm pretty game to try anything, you know.
It's okay. Some dishes are very good.
Found a noodle shop in the mall the other day, and that was the best meal we had.
Well, there's a feast of anything and everything that you might want to eat inside or outside of the animal. So it depends on it depends on how daring you are with regards to eating. So I don't know, how daring are you?
No. Bon appetit, bon appetit. We plug into the Hawaii connection when the road to Beijing continues.
I miss the Hawaiian food, and my wife is back there, so I miss her too.
In a nation of 1.4 billion people, it's easy to get lost. That's why several former Hawaii residents are happy to have found one another in their new home away from home. Thanks to the internet, as well as family and friends back in the islands, the group of Hawaii expatriates is growing. Their transition into a new country and a new way of life is being made easier.
I'm really excited to be here. Every day is a different day. And so it's a really humbling experience to be here. Different culture, different language.
Although the language barrier can still present a challenge on occasion, the former Hawaii residents are settling in. And like so many others here, they marvel at the city's recent transformation.
I think there's a lot of pride because it's all about showing what China is today. There's a lot of changes, and I really think that you have to look at China not just at one moment in time, but in the last few years, and you'll realize how much it has come and how much there's more to go ahead in this place.
With an economy that's booming, life for many in China is moving full speed ahead. But at the same time, some of these Hawaii expats are taking a step back and enjoying life in a much more simple fashion.
It's very different. We have two vehicles, a bicycle and an electric bicycle.
Cornel Miyasato brought his wife and 2 children to Beijing 2 years ago, a move he admits wasn't easy.
In the beginning it was quite hard. We went 2 years, my daughter went 2 years at Cocoa Head, and my son went 1 year at Cocoa Head, and then we transferred here, or we moved here. They've adjusted. You know, my son is very Chinese. He has Chinese friends. My neighbor, who's a Texan, says my daughter is still an American teenager.
From playing their video games to celebrating Halloween with friends, you'd think they were still in Hawaii. Fortunately, time has a way of bridging the 4,000-mile gap, especially for this big-time Warriors fan who went as far as organizing a Sugar Bowl bash in Beijing.
Warrior Nation, University of Hawaii versus Georgia, Sugar Bowl, Wednesday, 9:30.
At the Crow's Nest, 公体北门里头 ，Vix 楼上最南边的一家餐厅。
We had Hawaiian Telecom streaming video. We watched that couple games, either at my house or Russell's house. We watched about 3 or 4 games. Actually, that's how we met, like Steven and Ron. They came to the Sugar Bowl. The Sugar Bowl party we had at a local bar. I talked to them beforehand. They posted to a large screen. We had about 20 people there, Hawaii people. We had about 3 or 4 tailgates this past season. We'll try to have more. It's a way of us Hawaii people to get together. If someone will send Zippy's chili, would be nice.
But even without that island party favorite, maintaining the Hawaii ties is something all these expats say they're committed to.
Well, actually, a lot of it is just the camaraderie. For like where I live, there's not that many foreigners, let alone that many Hawaiians. So just to talk stories, shoot the breeze, talk stories, just to hang out with each other.
And maybe even catch up on the local news, if the timing is right. KHNL in Beijing, that's very cool. Way to go. Very nice. Preparing for the golden moment when the road to Beijing continues. After 7 years and countless billions of dollars spent in preparation of these summer games, Beijing is ready. The tickets are printed and the medals are minted. Even the presenters have been trained on exactly how to hand out these precious awards. All that's left now is for the human drama to unfold. After all, it is the thousands of athletes from around the globe that truly represent what the Olympic Games are all about. And when Team USA marches into the Bird's Nest Friday, Hawaii will be well represented. For decathlete Brian Clay, the game plan is simple: to improve upon his silver medal performance 4 years ago in Athens.
Of course the gold is my number one goal. But I learned something very early into the decathlon at the last Olympics. And what I learned is that it's not about winning or losing or doing any of those types of things. It's about getting to the Olympic Games, being an Olympic athlete for the United States of America, representing the United States of America the best that you possibly can, and putting your best foot forward. To me, that's what the Olympic Games is about. That's what I'm going back to try and experience again. And if I can do that, if I can go out, have fun, and put my best foot forward, I think gold medals are definitely going to be out there.
For former Wahine soccer star Natasha Kai, the journey to Beijing is the fulfillment of a lifelong dream, and proof for anybody who might choose to follow in her footsteps that a girl who grew up playing on the fields of Kahuku can ascend to the game's biggest stage.
It's awesome being able to represent our country and also our state. It was my dream ever since I was 5 years old to play in the Olympics, and I finally get to live it, so I'm pretty excited.
From the mat to the volleyball courts, nearly 24 members of Team USA will also carry the hopes and dreams of Hawaii all of them competing under the watchful eyes of the world, but also under the watch of thousands of Chinese special forces. Highly trained troops prepared to deal with everything from protesters to biological, even nuclear attacks. After decades of planning and billions of dollars spent, the Chinese government wants to ensure their Olympic flame burns bright.
高空走绳达瓦兹传人阿蒂利高举祥云火炬，开始了喀什的剧。
Like the Olympic torch itself, these games do come to Beijing with a certain amount of controversy. But the people of this very proud nation choose to look forward rather than backward. And now as the athletes stand ready for their personal moment of glory, this country and its 1.4 billion people stand ready to author the next chapter in China's very deep and rich history. From Tiananmen Square, I'm Howard Deshevsky, and thank you for joining us on the road to Beijing.
I think that it's introducing China to the world. I think many people have a preconceived notion of what China's all about, and I think this is a really good opportunity for China to say, this is who we really are. This is our culture, our history, the thousands of years of history, and they get a chance to show it all.
I think we've been waiting for 7 years since it was announced back in 2001 in July, knowing that in 2008, Olympics going to be happening in Beijing. We've been waiting for 7 long years, and we're excited, and I believe we are ready. People are dying to get tickets, and we're also trying to get our staff ready to welcome the world.